Good morning, mademoiselles and messieurs. Mystery Man 64 at your service, and welcome back to Slag 2, Band of Thieves.
Another clockwork part had surfaced in India, so the boys and I loaded up the van and zeroed in on our next target, a mysterious spice lord known as Rajan. A self-made man who grew up poor on the streets of Calcutta, he started his life of crime selling illegal spices in the black market, eventually growing his small outfit to a sizable operation, and earning himself a seat in the prestigious Claw Gang. He's since crowned himself Lord of the Hills, and while he goes to great lengths to convince others of his royalty, it's mostly to convince himself. True to form, he's holding a lavish ball in his newly purchased ancestral palace. The reason? To show off his latest acquisition, the Clockwork Wings, the symbol of my enemy. If you saw the wings silhouetted against the night sky, it was already too late for you, especially if your name was Cooper. Rajan believes displaying the wings will bring him prestige, and maybe they will, but they're also bringing me.
I love these little stings. The stings are so good. So, now that we're in a new area, what kind of new upgrades do we get? So we can shrink guards, we can jump to rook, what? Combat dodge. I also don't know, like, what of these are, like, interesting. Oh, again, some of these aren't too useful. I know there are, like, required ones, for sure. Oh, Bentley, but first is the mystical magical quest of finding all the bottles. So let's see how long it takes for me to find them all. As we spend this episode trying to find the bottles. Also, this is a case of a hidden treasure. As you can see, there's a red little dot on it. That means it has a bomb placed on it, so we gotta make it back within the time limit so we can sell this. These timers usually aren't too bad. Unless you fall off like that. Do you lose it forever? If you lose it forever, I might... Okay, yeah, no. You do get a second chance. Come on. Come on, my dude. Do. So I'm just gonna safely double jump instead of just doing single jumps, because single jumps are just silly. There's the hideout. Alright, how much was the thing that we just stole? Oh, 300, don't mind if I do. And now back to the mystical magical quest of trying to find all the bottles. So, yeah, future me, you can go ahead and speed this section up if you need to.
With the drawbridge up, the only way across that river is on those conical rocks. Do you remember how to spire jump?
What? You think I forget one of the Cooper family's greatest thief moves? Whenever I'm near pointed objects, I just need to jump and hit the circle button to perform a ninja spire landing.
That's correct. Now let's see it in action.
Yeah, and you do just kind of just magnet onto the spot, so... Yep, now I can, probably speed this up, unless it takes the same amount of time, but I think it helps because I can actually listen to the clinking. So go ahead and add post commentary, future me, because I'll be bottle hunting and listening. All right, and we're here, and this time sped up. So yeah, as you can see, we're definitely speeding this up this time. Prepare to see this more in the future. Again, the first one might have been a bit nice and just the normal post commentary. Now this one's sped up, so yeah, we're here finding the bottles, but this time faster because otherwise it would have taken up an entire thing. Believe me, getting these bottles already takes up most of an, if not an entire episode anyways. I just sped it up to actually make it fit within one. Cause some of these, oh, it probably only gets worse from here because my memory of the game only gets spottier. Like, I remember what the next area is. It's pretty much every area after the third one. I'm just like, what are they again? What do you do? Who are the things? I at best remember the first three. And then beyond that is just like, I don't know. Also, this version, the past version of me is distracted by Shiny, so he will a lot of times just ignore getting the things and just go after Shinies because, you know, gamer is taught, ooh, Shiny, go after Shiny. Or maybe that's just how my brain functions, which is very possible because, you know, ooh, Shiny. And is that how your brain functions when you're just like, ooh, you have a thing, let me get the thing, instead of the thing I was supposed to do? Because, look, see, just instantly distracted. I also ended up not getting the takedown, but whatever. Doesn't matter too much. Doesn't matter too much. So, yeah. I'm also, because everything is sped up, I had to, cut out like a lot of the sound effects. Otherwise you would hear like in the background like everything be sped up and just like that would just sound way too jarring. So here's normal speed music of this area, you know, that I've added in. You're welcome. I am giving myself both more and less work at the same time. I have yet to determine which is which, but there you go. Have I stated where I don't know if every area always has just 30 bottles? Because I don't know. The real answer is, I don't know. Every area could have just 30, or it could, some might have more. I just don't remember. I also do sneak attacks on enemies when I really don't need to. Especially when I'm supposed to just be finding the bottles. But I also know, like, you need a decent amount of money in this game. I just don't remember how much, so you know, maybe saving myself a little bit, but I don't know how much, you know. Oh, I also just happened to miss a bottle in this area. Like, it's right by one of those trees, and I just don't get it because, yeah, it's like right over there, but I go in a completely opposite direction and like, I even kind of go over there, but I don't see it. Like, I'm not even sure, because it's fast forward, so even I couldn't tell if I could see it on the screen. You might be able to pause and be like, oh, it was right there in between the trees. And it's like, yeah, I know. I know now. I eventually got to it. At 11 out of 30. We're a third of the way there. I also get a lot of these treasures along the way, because, you know, there are some treasures hidden around the map as well, and I end up taking a lot of those back to the hideout, because you can sell them for lots of money, and that is very much gooder. Yo, 15 out of 30, halfway there. Oh boy. Halfway there. Yeah. Also, I don't know if every area is the same size, because I don't know, it might just be me, but some of these definitely feel bigger than others. Like, this area feels bigger than the last one, I just don't know how true it is, because, you know, I can't necessarily compare the two maps side by side. So I don't actually know if the map is actually bigger. Also, if you couldn't tell, if you get hit while trying to take an item back to the hideout, it goes back to where you originally found it. Thankfully, it doesn't disappear forever until you actually take it back to the hideout. Then you can no longer recollect it. Because, you know, that would be kind of broken if you could just take back, you know, several, like, 600, 500 coin items over and over again. That would be silly. Perfectly balanced, but silly. I was about to say, he definitely saw me there. But Smoke Bomb too OP. Smoke Bomb is... Again, I think Smoke Bomb is one of my go-to, items that I use, especially on Sly. Because it's just so good. You can just be like, nope. And just not deal with whatever enemies were chasing you, because they it is just immediate. And you can... it's so nice. See, just distracted by sparklies. This will continue to happen. I also guarantee it. I will not get better. It's all downhill from here, folks. You heard it. You heard it here. But I do think Sly Cooper is a pretty great game. Yeah. Like, is Sly 4 actually bad, or is it because of the stigma surrounding it? I don't know, because I've only played a little bit of Sly 4. I know for sure the first three are pretty good. They're pretty good. I don't know. I think I need to give Sly 4 an honest chance, I think. You know? I played through... Again, just the resurgence of the bottles was already like, no, I was through with you. And the worlds, they feel so much larger. They feel so much larger. I don't know if they are, they just feel it. Could just be me being weird and dumb, but you know. That's technically a callback to Sly 2, which is very fitting, because, you know, recently with Pikmin, because, you know, you had Pikmin 4, which added dungeons like Pikmin 2. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Where, like, every odd-numbered game is like the standard gameplay where you have to collect a thing and survive a select amount of days, where every even-numbered game goes back to, like, the dungeon style, where you have dungeons and you can, like, micro stuff. That'd be like, because so far it's just 2's a coincidence, but if it does 3's a pattern, then I'd be like, oh, that's kind of fun. They'd only do it once, though, you know, where Pikmin 6 is just like, oh, you know, here's dungeons. It's just like, well, is there a pattern? It's just like, yeah, here's this other thing. Get wrecked, nerds. You thought it was one way, but nope. Too bad we're not getting another one for another 10 years. That's the Pikmin release time, I have learned. Every 10 years. Isn't it? Isn't it been every 10 years we've basically gotten a Pikmin game or something along those lines? It's something. I'm hoping because the Switch has a massive install base that Pikmin 4 did very well. It probably did the best out of all of them. If I'm for real. Also, 20 out of 30, 2/3 of the way there. But it's always the last ones, like, getting these earlier ones doesn't really say much when the last ones are always the worst. And it's always like the last 2 or 3. Was he distracted? Yep, sure was. It's like, you know, you can see his silly little goldfish brain going, ooh, sparkly bait, and goes straight for it and bites. Almost always. Even though I'm talking about it, I don't think it'll be much better. Wow, I am just getting destroyed by these enemies. Just walk away. well, it led me to a bottle, so now it kind of worked out, sorta, maybe, I don't know. Hope you don't mind if like the enemy sound effects aren't here and it's just the world theme. Probably don't get to hear the world theme too often because, you know, my brain is doing, in my head it feels like I'm doing like 50 other things. I have to focus on a bunch of other things. But it is just nice to just sit back and kind of enjoy watching me trying to find things. Like, it's really hard to actually classify what this game is, because it is a heist game. It's sort of collective, like the first one was definitely collectathon with bottles in every mission. And like a 3D platformer, point A to point B, with some pseudo stealth mechanics. Like this, it honestly did and does have a lot going for it, you know. It's just a mixture of a bunch of things, but I think it works pretty well. At least I think so, anyways. Yep, there's also another bottle around here that I just happened to miss in this area. Just didn't get it. It's on top of like one of those spires, but I just didn't hear it. Yep, just didn't hear it. Oh, yeah, I'll be back there, don't you worry. Oh, I'll be back. I'm William Afton, don't you know? I always come back. How long until this gets dated? You know, how long until it's like turbo old? It's technically already old. That's already technically dead. You saw that bottle, so go get it. What are you doing? Get the bottle. That's literally the entire quest right now. Get the bottle. 27. 3 remain. Now it's fun time. And I take this one back to the hideout. Also, I probably established this either like later or in like another episode that whenever you go back to the hideout, you restore all of your stuff. You know, your health and your gadget meter usage, whatever you want to call it, the orange bar. Truly the worst kind of human being. Oh well, it is also fun. I'm sure many people do this in this game, where every time they see shiners, they must obtain. It wasn't actually too long after that one. Yes, go in that direction. There were things over there. But will he? The fact that this is sped up should tell you all you need to know. It should tell you everything. It took me too long. Took me way too long. Yeah, they got elephants, cause you know, stereotype maybe. Like Indian warlords having elephants or something. I don't know, there's something stereotypical about elephants and India, even though elephants are more like Africa in general. India's more Asia, isn't it? Not Africa. Right? I know geology, geometry, geography. Not geology, geography. I knew it was geo something. Took me a few attempts to get there, but we got there. We did, in fact, get there. Oh. Okay, let's see. What else do I got in my bag-o? Just anecdotes. My bag of useless information, perhaps. When did I... Oh! I can actually give some fun story time. So, how I got into Sly Cooper. Oh, do I do that story time for this? You know what? That will be next bottle episode. Next bottle episode will be story time about how I got into Sly. That would actually be perfect. Cause that is actually kind of a crazy story about how I got into the series, cause it popped into my brain. I just gotta remember, like, you have a story time with Sly 2. And it involves your youth. And it involves you playing this in a very interesting way. Oh, I remember. Oh, that's a wild time. I'm glad that me doing these post commentary unlocked a memory. Those were some wild, that was wild. Okay, but we're finally nearing the end. Yep, there it is, you see it. Yeah, I knew he probably saw it at the corner of his eye over there. Alright, and now that I saw it and we finally collect the last bottle, it is fine time to return to the present. Okay, we finally found all the bottles, so, yeah. It's usually the worst part. Now we get to blitz through the rest of this. I say blitz in a relative sense, or at least get to not run around aimlessly trying to find bottles now. Oh, these bottle episodes are, oh boy. At least I get them all. At least I get them all. So you now know where they are, which is cool. I just gotta speed it up a bit. Maybe by like 50-ish%. But either way, I think this is where I'll end things off. As always, I'll see all of you in the next one. Until then.